Hey everybody, I'm Brian with Fort Knox Company, and in this video, I'm going to show you how I installed a photocell in line with a power cord. So you may be wondering, why would you ever need something like this? Well, most houses, they might have a switch outside if you're lucky, where there's a plug that you can plug some decorations in and you can turn them on and off by turning the switch on and off. A lot of houses have a plug outside, no circuit, and no switch. But you know, if you're like me, you like to put some decorations up for the family and for the holidays, and it can be annoying or difficult to always come out and turn them on and make sure that they're turned on when the sun goes down. So I thought, what if I could install a photocell in line before it got to all those decorations, something I could just plug in. So that's how I made this. I'll show you the steps that I took to make it and how easy it can be. So some of the items that I'll be using is this power cord. This is an indoor-outdoor power cord, but one of the main reasons I chose it is because it has the flat plug. This should sit good against the wall and allow the cord to hang nicely against the wall. This is a plug protector. There's a lot of different versions of these out there. I'll put links for all these things in the video in the description there, especially the photo sensor and these. This will actually house my photo sensor, and some of them are different sizes, so I had to make sure it could fit. But you can see it has rubber to help keep it weatherproof. And then of course our photo sensor, and then I'm gonna go a step further and probably use some of this heat shrink to make sure that when I do my cord and wire connections, it's extra secure inside, and won't have to worry about the weather getting in there. I'll put links for all these things in the description below, that way you can pick them up if you need them. So the whole reason I chose the flat plug is just so that it would have a lower profile, because a lot of the boxes outside have some type of casing, or if they don't, still you don't want this thing to protrude off the wall too far. So I went with the flat plug, and then this will sit in line, making sure the photo sensor is facing out. And wherever this is plugged in, the sun can hit it, it'll leave the circuit open, but when the sun goes down, it'll turn the circuit on and you're good to go. Real quick, if you guys haven't already, hit that like button. It really helps me out. Lets YouTube know that I'm doing something right. Lets me know that you're enjoying the video. Smash that like button for me. This is just one example of our front porch right now at our rental house. Usually these plugs outside have some type of cover, and you don't want something that comes off too far. So I do recommend getting a flat plug, because it helps with the profile of these hatches or any of those domes that go over the plug. But we can plug it in here. It'll hang off the ground, and the photo sensor can actually get the light from the sun, so that it actually keeps the circuit off during the daytime. So one thing I want to make sure is that when this is plugged in the wall, that this is facing outwards. So I kind of aligned the power cord facing the direction I would want. And I gave it about 3.5 inches, made some marks so I know exactly where this wire and this plug protector is going to sit on it. And then I can go ahead and actually make my incision right here in the middle and pull out that black wire. One of the reasons that I'm specifically going after the black wire is because that is your hot wire. That is the positive coming from the wall going towards whatever fixtures that you have. So if you can put a break in that black wire, which is exactly what happens in a wall switch or something, the switch in the wall actually is just creating a break in between that black wire, and then the power can then travel to whatever fixture you have it wired into, and then you can turn the switch off, or in this sense, the photocell. And that will turn the whole circuit off, because it breaks that positive energy from coming from the wall to those fixtures. The white wire is the neutral coming back. The ground is obviously the ground that stays all the way through. But just thinking of it as like a flow, you're creating a break in the beginning of that river rather than at the end of the river. So that way, if you want that water to flow down, you can open or close the dam at the top of the river, which is that black wire, before it gets to the first fixture. So from the plug to the photocell or switch, and then on. So that's why I'm specifically going after the black wire. So the first thing that I was gonna do automatically was just chop the cord and then wire in the photocell and encase that in the plug protector. But I started worrying about the integrity of the line. Like if you were to pull on the wire or the cord, for some reason, if somebody pulled on it, that it wouldn't be as strong. So I was trying to think of how could I reinforce the tension or the line strength on that power cord. And then I thought, if I slowed down and I actually just made an incision on the power cord and used the one wire that I needed to actually cut and splice in this photocell, I could keep the whole entire cord as well as the other wires intact. What is the point of cutting all 3 wires inside this cord just to reconnect 2 of them with wire caps and then 1 of them with the photocell? So I'll show you guys how I did that. It takes a little bit of time, but it keeps the integrity of the cord there, and that way you don't have to worry about the strength, or if somebody were to pull on it, or again, if you're winding it up at the end of the year, you don't have to worry about damaging it. I'm just doing this very lightly to make sure I don't actually cut through any of these wires. But you can see the green is my ground, the white, and then this black wire is the only one that I'm actually going to cut. Then I'll install this photocell over this. Then I can go somewhere right here in the middle and actually make my cut. Then I'll strip these back, and then I can start installing my photocell. So now that I've actually looked at the photocell, this one actually requires the white to have some type of connection. So I'll probably actually install the white into the white as well, but I'll leave the ground intact all the way, as well as the housing that the cord originally came with. But so you know how to wire this up, the black coming into the photocell comes from the black from the wall. This photocell creates the break, and then when the sun goes down and it opens up the circuit, it continues down the black line through the red. So from the wall on the black, out of the photocell to continue down the circuit on the red. And then the white just needs to be joined into the neutral so that it's just part of the circuit as well. But pretty simple, and I can still keep most of this intact, which will keep this whole thing pretty strong. So now that I got all of this wired in together, I'm going to plug this into the wall really quick and just test and make sure that this works the way that I think it will. So right now I have everything plugged in. I'm covering it so it's simulating nighttime, and it looks like the power bar is on, and you can see the light on inside there. So if I release this and expose it to the sun, usually takes a few seconds. There you go. See, there's probably about 10 seconds or so exposure to the light, and it actually interrupts the circuit, and now it thinks that the sun's up, which it is, and it turns that off. But when you cover this, same thing. It takes a little bit of time, but when you cover it and it simulates that it's been nighttime, it'll actually turn the circuit back on. So now we just got to worry about weatherproofing this and getting it into that plug protector.
What is that? Is that cool?
This is super cool.
Yeah.
What is it?
What is it?
It's a drill.
Oh.
So this photo sensor says that it needs an 11/16 hole. So it's just over 1/2 inch. So I drilled 1/2 inch, and then I'm gonna use my step bit to actually make it up to 11/16. And then we can actually install the photocell through there, and it comes with a little rubber gasket to help make it weatherproof on the outside. So now that this is installed in there, there'll be plenty of room in the bottom half of this to kind of tuck the wires. I'm just gonna cover these to make sure that they're weatherproofed inside, and then all of this should actually help as well. So one of the last steps to do here is to actually tuck these wires in the bottom half so that when this closes, it won't be in the way, but also making sure that your plug is facing away from wherever the photo sensor is. That way, when this is plugged into the wall, this will be facing outward and it'll be able to sense the light. You line these up here in the tracks, and then you can actually fold this over and it fits perfectly. Creates a really good seal around the end of the wire, and then we just have to pull these over and clamp them down. Looks perfect. And here's the finished product. It sits just like I thought it would, with the sensor facing out. Right now it's open to the light. You can see as it's exposed, it'll then cause a break in the circuit. I think the biggest factor here is that it takes about 20 seconds almost. There you go. That's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I put links for all the things that I used to make this in the description there, so you can click on those and actually find them yourself. If you want, maybe I can build you one. Just put a comment down there and we can work it out. But hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, hit like, hit subscribe. I do a lot of stuff like this on my channel. You can learn something and do something yourself, but really cool idea. You can plug your holiday decorations in and you don't have to worry about turning them on and off. As soon as the sun goes down, they turn on. As soon as the sun comes up, they turn off. So there you go. If you have any other questions, let me know. Until then, I'll see you on the next build.